You have a purpose, a reason, a vision, a mission that you have come to this great earth to carry out. And it's time. It's time to write that book, launch that podcast, travel the world leading life-changing wellness retreats. And we are here to help you shine the light on your path so that you can shine your own for others.
What I would love to know, the first question is, do you have an idea about a book that you want to write? What's the idea? Put it in. What's the idea that you have? Maybe it's my life story. So many. What's one? No idea. How to unlock fear. My journey of resilience. How words can hurt you. Being your authentic self. My life story. The immigrant life story. My life. How to heal through emotional trauma. I've written a book about a spoof on 55 plus dating. Well, Donna, I want to read that because I love a good spoof. Powerful women, messages. Amazing. So how long, if you are somebody that has been thinking about writing a book, even if you have multiple books, how long have you been thinking about writing a book? How many years? 10 years, my whole life, 20 years, 10 years, 14 years, 3 years, since 2015, 1 year. Awesome. Well, I'm hoping that today we're going to start to get ourselves excited about getting that book out of our head and into the world, because I can't tell you how many people that I'll meet randomly who have read my book and that will share that it was life-changing for them. And so think about that. Think about the fact that you have wisdom inside of you that could change somebody's life. That maybe if they heard your story of going through something and getting to the other side could be the light. You know, a lot of times we let our fear get in the way of doing these projects because we're afraid we're going to fail, we're going to be laughed at. And so we gatekeep our wisdom. And then the world is less because of it. So I wasn't afraid to fail. I failed. I tried to get my book published by Hay House. It was rejected immediately. And I could have let the itty bitty shitty committee tell me that, oh, your book stinks and it's never going to get published. And who do you think you are? But I listened to a louder voice, my voice of wisdom that said, you know what? I've got to get this information out. And it's never great idea success, right? It's a great idea, hit the brick wall of frustration. Things don't go as planned. Let go of the fear, the judgments, the expectations. And sometimes when I would be so afraid, the moment that I would step on a TEDx stage, the moment that I almost said my first radio show where they sandwiched me in between Esther Hicks and Wayne Dyer, where I thought I would literally throw up in my mouth. I thought about somebody else. I would imagine that there was this woman, she lived somewhere in Oklahoma, and I could see her. She had like 5 kids. She had dark circles. She hadn't slept in weeks. And I just said, if there's one word, there's one sentence, there's one nugget that's going to come out of my mouth today that's going to ease her suffering, then all of this fear is worth it. So that's really what being a thought leader is about. It's about feeling the fear and doing it anyway. It's about daring to suck, daring to fail, because, I'd rather you fall flat on your face, because then at least you are moving forward. So I hope that after today's summit, you get a surge to just get out there, to share the stories that you have, whether it's in the written word, the spoken word, whether you do it through video, through audio, it doesn't matter. It's about sharing your light. Because when you shine your light on somebody else's path, it gives them permission to do the same. So for those of you that maybe have started this process, has anybody written an outline yet? Any chapters yet? Are there any published authors here? So Dawn, I've written some chapters, yes. Sitting in my computer, waiting for me to do something and get it into the world. Yeah, some chapters, an outline, completed my book. Congratulations, Rachel. Worked on an outline. I'm stuck. Yeah, it's all good. Published my cookbook, amazing. Okay, so hopefully today, or maybe tomorrow morning, could get back at it and get re-inspired, thinking about all those people out there that could benefit so much from the work that you do. So there are some keys that I want to share with you today to spark the writing of your book or the continuing of writing your book. The first is author hours. You know, when I wrote Directing Your Destiny way back when, I started writing it in 2011 and it was published in 2013. I had to create author hours. Think of them as office hours, only they're author hours. And the reason why is because I, at the time, had a 10-year-old. I was teaching tons of classes. I, had to pick my child up at 3 p.m. and I was a single mama and I had a lot on my plate. And so a lot of people say to me, I don't have the time to write my book. And I would counter with, we're never going to find the time to do our creative projects. We have to create it. So what's it going to be? How are we going to create time? Well, sometimes it's not so lovely. The only time I had was before my son got up. And that was 5:30 to 6:30 a.m. Those became my author hours. And I sat there and I thought, how many words could I write in 1 hour? If I got up before Cole got up, before the phone started ringing, before the world woke up, how many words could I write in an hour? So I sat down one day and I just wrote for 1 hour straight. And at the time, I tracked it. You just go in a Word doc, copy it, and then just do word count. How many words did you write in an hour? Mine was 500. Now I can write 1,200 words in an hour, which is really interesting. How I guess I was really slow back then, but that's okay. We all grow. So then I did a little research and found out how many words do you need for a personal development book? Well, you need at least 50,000 words for a personal development book that will be published by a traditional publisher, okay? So we're going to talk about the difference between traditional publishing as well as self-publishing today and the different techniques to help you with that, to make that powerful decision. To write a book, I would say for self-publishing, it could be 15,000 words. It could be any amount. It could be 5,000 words. But for a Random House, a Hay House, Penguin, a major publisher, they're going to want at least 50,000 words. Novels could be way longer. Lots of times memoirs are more like 70,000 words. My book was kind of memoir meets self-help, right? It was a how-to manifest. It was kind of an answer to the movie The Secret. I think we all saw The Secret way back, in 2008, 9, 10, whenever it came out. And we all made our vision boards and we all stuck them on the wall and we all were like, and nothing happened. So it was like, well, okay, we don't get it. Where's the manual? I need the manual. So I decided to write the manual because I then started studying personal development. I learned that you got to believe in yourself. You can't just think happy thoughts. You got to believe them. You got to feel them. And you got to also get your butt off the couch. It's not just going to happen with a vision board. So I wanted to write a response to that book. That was the impetus of me writing Directing Your Destiny. I wrote the manual that I wish that I had had. So I knew it had to be 50,000 words. And I knew that I could write 500 words an hour. So I did some quick math. And I figured out that if I wrote 1 hour a day for 4 months, at the end of those 4 months, I would have a 50,000 page manuscript. Let me correct that. I would have a shitty draft. And give yourself permission to write a shitty draft. You know, nothing worse than all of the, you know, criticalness that comes out onto the, oh my God, I shouldn't say that. Like, especially if you're writing personal stories, I don't want to hurt this person. Do I mention their name? Do I not? In the beginning, just get the bones down. Just write. Don't censor yourself. Don't spell check. Just get it up and out of your body. That's how you're going to get that word count up too, because if you keep stopping and correcting, it's going to take you a lot longer. It's better to just get it out and then go back, edit it. You can decide how much you want to leave, take. What you want to create is creative fiction. You know, sometimes you could tell a story and say it was a student of yours, or you can change names and, you know, things around so that people don't get hurt. But in the beginning, just write your truth. So you're not censoring yourself. You're not stopping your flow. So you want to create author hours and you want to set yourself up for success. You know, if you think there's no way that I'm going to wake up at 5:30 a.m., that's just not going to work for you. Maybe, and be real with yourself. You know, like, I'm a morning person. So yes, I pressed snooze 11 times the first time, but then I got a little savvy. I thought, how am I going to, you know, like, get to the self-saboteur that lives inside of us all? And instead of an alarm, I actually set an event that went off every morning, Monday through Friday at 5:30 a.m. And the event said this, and steal this if you want. Jen, do you want it or not? And I knew what that meant. Do you want it or not? Do you want to take your message to the masses? Do you want to be the change that you can see? Like, do you want it or not? And every morning I had to answer that question. And every morning the answer was yes. So create author hours that are going to set you up for success. For you, it just might be once a month on a Saturday. You're going to leave your family, go to a library, and you're going to write for 8 hours. And you're going to bang out a ton of words in those 8 hours, that one day a month. Or maybe you do 3 times a week, 10 to 12, whatever that is for you, make it workable. And set yourself up for success to make sure you don't have distractions. When you're doing your author hours, I'm a professional staller. You know, I would sit down to write. I was like, oh, I have to pee. COVID. Oh, I need a glass of water. Oh, what was that thing? Let me check that email. Oh, please. I would do. And then the hour was up and nothing got done. So then I started to get savvy. And I would turn everything off except for the Word doc. I would make sure my phone was completely turned off. I would first pee. I would have my water, my coffee. I would take all the distractions away. And then I would put a Post-it right on my computer. It said, your butt is not getting out of this chair until the timer goes off. I would set the timer for 1 hour and there I went. And in 4 months, I had a 50,000 word manuscript. Something else that really helped me and helps a lot of my students is, you know, sometimes we go and sit down for author hours and this blank screen is just mocking us. I'm like, I don't know what to write. A lot of times when we're writing on the computer, we're connected to the world, to the audience, and the censor comes in. So a little trick is to just kind of curl up on the couch first and just start journaling your chapter. And then go sit and write what you wrote, and then you're off and running. Because a lot of times that journal feels more private, the computer feels more public. Or you just start with a journal prompt that has nothing to do with your chapter just to get it going. And you can have a lot of fun with your journal prompts. You know, you could open up a book, the Bible, and just take out a verse. You could pull an angel card. You could, you know, take a quote. You could look at a picture and just write about a memory. There's so many things that you could do that could get your writer's block unstuck. I think an outline is really good to have. It just helps with the structure so that you're clear about the beginning, middle, and end of your book. But starting first with the outcome is really important. Like I would say, when somebody is done reading this book, what do I want them to have had for themselves? What is the takeaway? What's in it for them? Like for me, it's like I wanted them to have the 9 steps on how to manifest their reality, right? So that was my outcome. And then I had to write an outline. Okay, so if I know my Z is they're going to know how to manifest their dreams, what's my A? And my A is they got to get clear on what their dreams are first, right? And then B, okay, once they're clear, they've got to set intentions. Well, once they have intentions, they got to overcome their limiting belief systems. And then once it, you know, and then. So if you start at the end with the outcome, it's easier to write the outline. Number 5 is 25 set pieces. So this is something that I learned when I was in LA. I did a writer's boot camp and I learned how to screenwrite for movies. I used to also be a filmmaker. I had a film company. I had a lot of iterations in my life. Here I am at 52. Geez. So anyway, there I was writing in screenplays, and they taught us something called set pieces, so that a scene in your mind is so good that they would build a set around it. Like, let's take the Harry Met Sally scene in the diner where she does that orgasm, right? And so that was such a good scene. They built a diner for that scene because it was such a good set piece, right? So think about, you know, maybe if you're writing a personal development book, you're going to be peppering in your own personal memoir stories. Think about all the stories you have in your file, in your brain, and just write them all down on a piece of paper. And if you have 25 of them in the morning for your author hours, maybe you're just not going to look at the outline. Maybe you're not worried about the how-to part of your book. Maybe you're just writing that memory. You could write it in the present tense, the past tense, and just play with, you know, the time that, you know, the trauma happened, or the day I got married, or, you know, any major events that you think would lend to what you're sharing about in your book. Now, obviously, novel writing is very different. Most of my students are not coming in as novelists. They're coming in because they want to write memoir, personal development, or a hybrid. So writing a novel is not my area of expertise. And so if you want to write a novel, I would not hire me as your writing coach. So everybody who's being cute, somebody's drawing on my screen, I have purple writing and yellow. Please stop. Don't draw on the teacher screen. I'm sure you have no idea you're doing it. It's all good. All right. Commitments. This is everything. Commitment and consistency is everything. You know, if we're not committed to our commitments, nothing happens. So really being clear on what your commitment is, right? I was crystal clear. My commitment was to write 50,000 words in 4 months by waking up at 5:30 a.m. every day, Monday through Friday. That was a clear commitment. So if you don't have a clear commitment, you can't deliver on that commitment. So get really clear about what your commitment to your book is. And then have accountability. You know, I was part of a writing community. I took writing classes with other writers. I hired a book coach to hold me accountable every single week to turn in pages. Anytime I have wanted to go to the next level, I have hired a coach. I wanted to do a TED Talk, I had a TED Talk coach. I wanted to take my business to the next level, I hired a business coach. I wanted to write a book, I hired a book coach. And so it's wonderful if we all want to, have all of these things, but a lot of you are coaches and we know the power of coaching, and every coach needs a good coach. Especially if you're going into something that you've never done before. It's really important to be part of a writing community, have some sort of accountability that keeps you on track and focused, delivering on your commitment. To publish or not to publish? That is the question. So a lot of people ask me, should I go the traditional route? Should I go the self-publishing route? I don't know what to do. I'm going to go over the pros and cons of traditional and also self-publishing. I think that, we'll go over that and then I'll say what I think. There we go. How about that? Boom. So here are the pros of traditional publishing. You're going to have print distribution in bookstores, right? It's going to be in Barnes and Nobles, and you'll have an established professional team to work with. They will have somebody that can design your cover. They'll have editors there for you. There will be no upfront financial costs, and there's usually some sort of advance against royalties. So I was given an advance of $10,000 to write my book. Once Hay House said, yes, we are going to publish you, they gave me a check for $10,000 to then go write the book. But you got to pay them back, guys. It's an advance, so don't get too excited about it. And then on top of it, they will, I make about $1 a book, right? So they may sell my book for 20 something dollars, but they only pay me 7%. Okay, of the book sales. So unless you are, Elizabeth Gilbert, Brené Brown, who wrote Harry Potter, don't look at writing books as an income source. Look at it as to raise credibility and to lead gen, or to get your message out to the masses. If you think you're going to become rich as an author, that absolutely could happen, but that is a whole other road than what I'm talking about, right? And so you make $1 a book. And so I had to sell 10,000 books first to pay them back. And then I started making money after that, right? Pro is you can be up for literary prizes, critical acclaim are more likely, and potential to become a brand name author. So that was good for me to become a Hay House published author. That opened quite a few doors for me. What are the cons of traditional publishing? It is painfully a slow process. I submitted my book at the end of 2011, and it did not get published until June of 2013. So if you're trying to get that message out there and use this book for credibility, to gain more clients, to, help with your speaking career, to say you're a published author, that could be 2 years in the making. You can have a real loss of creative control. They could change your book cover idea, the name of your book. They could change what your book is about sometimes. So you could lose creative control. Not always, though. What I did with that $10,000 was I didn't hand them my shitty first draft. I hired one of the best editors in Los Angeles to help me edit and write this book well. And so then I also spent money on having a PR team get me out there so that I had a larger platform. The book cover was drop dead gorgeous. So when I submitted my book to Hay House, they actually had very little to say because I hadn't taken that $10,000 and pocketed it. I invested it back into my book because I wanted to be kick-ass. Low royalty rates, right? I only got 7% of the proceeds to my book, and lack of significant marketing help. Here's the thing. Don't think just because you're going to be a Hay House published author that they're going to market your book. They are looking for authors to help them sell books. right? Because when I first submitted my book to Hay House, it was rejected. The reason why it was rejected is my platform wasn't big enough. And so then I hit the social media, got more followers on Twitter, on Facebook, got myself booked on a national television show. And then I went back 6 months later. I said, how about now? Then they said, come on in, Miss Grace. So them giving me a radio show, that really helped my book get out there. But I was never selling my book on Hay House Radio. I was selling my Clarity Catalyst, because I knew I was going to make $1 a book versus $600 for my class. So I wasn't no dummy. But that was the only marketing that they really helped me with, which was amazing. Don't get me wrong. But they're really looking for, authors that are going to help them sell books. So in the beginning, it's really something that you need to focus on is building your platform. That's why sometimes just going the self-publishing route first, getting a book out there, giving yourself credibility, having kind of like a business calling card, that helps you get more clients, that gets you into rooms, that helps you get booked as a speaker. If you're selling this self-published book and then you're, coming to a publisher and saying, hey, I've already sold 10,000 copies all on my own. Here's my next book. They're going to be more apt to take you on as an author because now you're going to be a second-time author, or they may, and this happens quite some time, is that they'll take your book and re-release it because now you've shown a concept, that, oh, wow, this is word mouth worthy. This book has already sold all of these copies. So that's another route that you can go. So the pros of self-publishing, you have total creative control over your content and design. You feel empowered by it because you're like, I did this all myself. Way faster time to market. I mean, my students have taken my courses and then, wrote a 15,000 page book, got it edited, and boom, it's up there right on Amazon. So it can be as fast as you can turn it around, up and running. Higher royalties, Amazon, depending on the program that you do with them, you're now going to get more like 70% of the book, 80% of the proceeds versus 7%. You can sell in any global market. You have all the rights to your material. If you have a specific niche, it can reach a way higher audience if you kind of go viral with that and you're self-publishing. And like I said, you can use it to get into the game. And then the cons is you need to do it all yourself or find suitable professionals to help you. You need a budget up front if you want a professional result. And it's difficult to get print in distribution in bookstores. Well, here's the thing. I don't know. Is anybody really going to bookstores anymore? I mean, I am actually, but I'm 52. Where are my older people? I don't even like a real book. Look, this is my book right now. It's a real book. I'm reading a real book right now. I like the way it feels. But soon, I don't know. This may be obsolete in this world. So those are the cons. And let's talk about the route. What is the route? The traditional route, right? I want to get my book published, Hay House, Random House, HarperCollins, this type of thing. Here's what you got to do first. First, you got to write a book proposal. So what is a book proposal? A book proposal is a business plan for your book, okay? Now, when you're writing fiction, a novel, you're going to have to submit that whole entire book. When you're writing self-help, nonfiction, personal development, they only want to read a few chapters. You need to submit a business proposal for your book. Okay, so that's called a book proposal. So what does that entail? It's very formula. It's the same formula. You don't want to go rogue. and you want to stick to this formula because that's what this industry is expecting. You write the overview, you write about you, the author, why you are, an expert to write this book. If you're writing about parenting, you don't have to be a psychologist in parenting. You could be a parent. It could be life experience or professional experience. Book specifics. This is the dumbest thing ever, you guys. You have to do it, but it makes absolutely no sense. You have to put in your book proposal how big your book is going to be, the format of it, the colors. It's like, I don't know. Like, I have no idea. It's like, you're going to publish it, aren't you? Aren't you going to tell me the size of the book? So you know what I did? I literally went into Barnes and Nobles. I found one of Deepak Chopra's book. I had a tape measure and I just went, it's 9.5 by 12. Okay. How many pages? And I made it up. I made it up. Your target market, again, if you're a first-time author, you may not know what your target market is, but if you're a coach, you can say, okay, what's my who's working with me? I looked around and said, all right, so my target market is probably about 85% women between the ages of, 30 and 60. That was my target market. Your competition. So first of all, if you know me, I don't believe in competition. So I hate this part, but it is a necessary evil and part of the book proposal process. And that is to look for other books like yours and then say why yours is better, which for me was absolutely ridiculous because you had to pick books that were like #1 bestsellers. So the books that I compared Directing Your Destiny for was like Esther Hicks, Ask and It Is Given, Wayne Dyer's book on manifestation. And I'm going to sit there and tell people that my book is better than theirs. Like these are my mentors. So for me, it was just, where can I find that I've done something fresh, that I've brought something new? I've made a different contribution, not better, but I've brought forth something new that hasn't been done before in a genre that's obviously very popular. So for example, Directing Your Destiny is about the 9 steps of manifesting the life of your dreams. And it doesn't mean you have to reinvent the wheel, right? I don't think any of us are reinventing the wheel at this point. But what makes your story unique is you and the way that you frame it. And for me, I used to be an actor, like I told you, and a filmmaker. So of course that metaphor of directing your destiny, how to become the writer, producer, and director of your dreams worked. It was very on brand with who I was. And it wasn't that I was sharing such new information. Here's how you meditate. Here's how you journal. Here's how you do intentions and affirmations. I mean, all of this is out there, right? So don't let your itty bitty shitty committee tell you that your book has been done before, because it hasn't been done if it hasn't come through you. That's what makes it unique, you guys. And so just look at me. I am on the #1, self-development publishing with a book that there are tons of books out there that have the very same tools. But what it doesn't have is my sparkle dust. It doesn't have my stories, my personality, right? So that's what's going to make your book unique. The other thing that when I was writing the competition was, I had really watched myself. I think when you're writing a book, you figured something out and now you want to share what you figured out with the world. So what I figured out was how to manifest. I was like a leprechaun. My friends were like, you are a leprechaun. How in the heck are you doing this? I'm still a leprechaun. I mean, I can go to Art Basel and get a parking spot right in front. Doesn't matter. I will manifest. I mean, that this house that I'm in right now, I drew a picture of it in the sand and there were no houses on the market like this. The next morning I pick up, whoop, there it is. Boom. The exact house I drew in the sand. I even showed it to the guy that rented it to me. He's like, you're a witch. I'm like, I kind of am. But I'm not. I'm not a witch. I'm a good witch. So I had figured out manifesting. And so I had to notice, well, what am I doing? What am I doing? And I watched from a detached point of view, my process. And what I realized was that I was using actors' tools unknowingly. Like I would sit down and visualize my my future, my love, my successes, right? And so I didn't realize that I was using the work that I learned as an actor to actually feel it and believe it. You know, because when you see somebody on stage, let's call Meryl Streep. When you see Meryl Streep up on that screen, don't you believe everything that woman is saying? Yes. You know why? Because she believes it. Because she is a really good actor. She is touching in to the truth. So I had studied something called the Uta Hagen technique and all different types of acting techniques. And I didn't realize that very quickly, without knowing it, I was using my actor's techniques. And the audience was God, source, the universe. And I was actually doing what I would do right before I would go on stage. So I wrote about it. I wrote a book about it. And when I wrote my competition section, I said, this is what's different. I see all these books on manifesting and everybody says the same thing. You got to feel it. You got to feel it. Well, what's the tool to feel it? You know, how was I going to teach my students to feel love when they were lonely? How are I going to teach them how to feel abundant if they were broke? And that was where I'm going to teach them these actors' tools to act as if. And Wayne Dyer actually read my manuscript and he said, this is your original contribution to the topic of manifestation. And he was the one that encouraged me to change my title at the time. I'm laughing. It was 1, 2, 3 Manifest. How stupid is that? Duh. Working title. And I went to bed that night after meeting him. And he had said to me this, well, actually not after meeting him, after he read my manuscript and gave me some feedback. And he said to me, this is your original contribution, this whole piece around the acting and the filmmaking, bring that forth in your title. And when I woke up in the morning, that next morning, I had it, Directing Your Destiny. You know, here is the right, you know, how to write, produce, and direct your dream life. It just came out of me, right? So that is the competition section. Marketing and promotion. They want to know that you're going to market the heck out of this. They love that I was going to hire a PR team. They love that I was going to be doing not webinars back then, but you get it. Lots of workshops and, you know, teaching my classes and being in the world and networking. So that I wanted to be in magazines, that I wanted to blog, that I wanted to have a YouTube channel. They like to see that I was going to help them market and promote that book. They're also going to want a chapter outline where you put what each chapter is about in about 2 or 3 sentences. And then they're going to want to read 1 to 3 sample chapters of your book. So you may do the first chapter and then the last one or something really meaty. Amanda, yes, go read my book. Actually, I can't wait for my next book. That's what I have to work on. I'm finishing that. That's called Dropping the Rope, The Power of Letting Shit Go, because that's something that I figured out how to do. All right, so here we go. Carrying on with the traditional route, getting an agent. This is what you need to do to get an agent. You need to find the agents first. A great way to look is go look and see who people in your genre are thanking in the acknowledgements. Who are they thanking? That's their agent. Go look them up and know what books are. If you're going to write a letter to an agent, you want to make sure you know what books they have put out in the world. You want to know something about them. Don't send a personal development query letter to an agent who only represents authors who do children's books. Okay? Do never, ever, ever call an agent on a phone. Always write. Be sure to research what category they prefer. Keep the query letter brief and to the point. The perfect pitch is no pitch. Do not try to sell your manuscript or win the agent's approval in your cover letter, but you do want to charm them, right? With some beautiful writing, eloquent, Finely honed writing is important because this is your shot, right? First, impressions make a difference. Do invite them along on a journey, perhaps to see the world in a different way. Tell them something that you alone, only you know. Do share your enthusiasm and passion. Be confident, but not boastful. And there's lots of ways to find listings of agents so that you know who to submit to online. Or you can go the self-publishing route, right? And what's that route? Number one, write your book. Get that down. Could be 15,000 words. It could be short. Just write it. Then have it edited by a professional. Hire somebody to do your digital cover. And this could be found on Fiverr. You don't have to spend a lot of money on this. Upload it to Amazon, KDP, soft launch your book, get reviews, lots of reviews from friends and family, and then you hard launch your book. Okay, so soft launch is just for kind of friends and family to read it, to get the reviews out there. And then the hard launch is to have those friends and family and everybody you know simultaneously on the exact same day, all promote your book for you. You create a little street team. That's what we do in our book class. We do this for each other. All righty, who is ready for the next Shine Your Light Prize? And then we're gonna take a little lunch break. Who's ready, who's ready, who's ready, who's ready? All right. Let's see. Here's the prize, the Book Catalyst. It's a $1,500 value. This is going to be coming straight out of the Shine Your Light 1-year academy. It will be an 8-week course where I will teach you how to create a compelling outline so that you can easily write your book using the power of AI. So I have gotten really into AI, and during the academy, I have so many incredible resources for all of you on how to use the power of AI in writing books and blogs and all sorts of fun stuff. Be held accountable each week to submit pages from your book and receive powerful feedback and support from your peers. Learn how to self-publish your book on Amazon and KDP step by step by step. For those of you that work with me, no step is unturned. Let's see, or how to write your book proposal. Sorry, that should say, and query letters for traditional publishing. So you will receive a copy of my book proposal so that you can go step by step. I will guide you through that, plus show you exactly how to write the query letters. Discover how to market and promote your book so that your credibility as an expert or a coach expands, and learn how to turn your readers into clients and monetize your programs and services. So that is the Book Catalyst, and that is a $1,500 value. And I'm highlighting 2 of my former students. The first wrote Mole Mama. It's a beautiful, like, kind of cooking meets coaching and overcoming grief and loss book. And Diana says, this remarkable 8-week book journey, I was given insights and guidance that helped me write my book, build my website, publish several blog posts, develop a marketing and promotional plan, research my competition. Her team provides amazing support, insights, powerful motivational energy. And lastly, the connections I've made with the other students have been amazing. I know that we will stay connected for years to come. If you're truly ready to get on with it and become a published author, you need to take the Book Catalyst. My book is now published and available on Amazon. The cherry on the cake is that it's becoming a published author has helped me book more coaching clients as a result. And the other one I wanted to highlight, hers was more the traditional route. And this is Kathy. She goes by Catherine. Some of you may know her, Kathy Hurst, but her author name is Catherine Dillon. And she's featured in Barnes and Nobles as well as Amazon. And she says, taking the 8-week Book Catalyst with Jennifer Grace helped me stay on track with my book, expand my writing skills, connect with others, and bring me out of my shell. I'm excited to announce that my book, The Search for Dry Land, Withstanding the Storms of Time of Life, has now been published through Christian Faith Publishing. I am so grateful for everything I learned with Jen and the amazing other writers I've met along the way. All right, get your fingers ready. Here we go. Ready. Okay. Here's a question. What was one out of the 4 cons of traditional publishing? What was one of the cons? Okay, the first one I see is, hold on, let me go back. Christy Hines Coates said it is slow. Incredibly slow.
Yay!
Congratulations, honey.
Thank you. I manifested that. I said, this is going to be mine.
You did, girl. You go. I'm so proud of you. This is amazing. So exciting.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And if you didn't win, you can book a call with me and find out more about how you can take the book catalyst, the podcast catalyst, the speakers, the retreat, the social media. Just go to jennifergrace.com/chat. We can get on a one-on-one call this week, and I can tell you all about it. And of course, if you're here at the summit or listening to the recording, you're going to get up to 40% discounts on all of these courses when you book a bundle. Okay, I think it's time for a dance break. But first, I want to introduce Ezgi Endem, who is my trainer, and I get to dance with every single morning in her amazing Diva Fit program. And I'm just so excited to have her here. She's going to be dancing with us and moving with us throughout the day. So let me introduce Ezgi Endem. Ezgi Endem is the 2016 Fitness Universe Florida champion, a licensed fitness trainer and a nutritionist. When asked what is her motivation behind training, her answer is clear: to empower and inspire women. Born in Istanbul and raised between Turkey and the US, Ezgi is committed to building a global community of powerful women to raise awareness around women's rights and issues and to make a difference for future generations.
Hi, everyone. This is Ezgi Endem. Thank you for joining me on a session to ground with your divinity, to connect to your divine power. So when you're ready, please create enough space for yourself to move and spread out and to take up space. And with your feet hip distance apart, come down and meet me for a deep breath of gratitude. Hold this gratitude between your palms. Feel the gratitude in your hands. How grateful are you to be alive right now? How incredible is it that we get to dance and move together gently, gently. Start to move your hips and feel the music in your body as you let the gratitude wash over you. Let it into your mind, into your thoughts. Let this gratitude into your throat. May every word you speak be full of gratitude. Let this gratitude into your heart. Be thankful every day. Into your belly, into your hips, down your legs, and come back for another deep, deep breath from the ground all the way up of love as you move your hips. Let this love concentrate in your hands, in your palms, and let this love wash over you. May all your thoughts be full of love, especially towards yourself. Let it into your throat. May the words that you speak be full of love. Let this love into your heart. May you be full of love every single day. Let this love into your belly, into your guts, into your hips, and right here start to rotate your hips. Rotate your hips and feel that stretching out of your hips as you let the love into your root chakra. Feel how amazing it is to be in your body, to be moving, to be dancing to music. Let the love wash down and come up, and right here, point the right foot forward and squeeze your hip and come back down. Arms up, hold it right here, down and up. I will give you a little bit of a background. So I am Ezgi, and born and raised in Istanbul, Turkey. And as a little girl, we were highly, highly encouraged to dance. Switch to the other side, left foot forward. And as I got older, it became a taboo for a woman to own her body, for a woman to take up space, for a woman to be proud of who she was. Meet me in the middle. And let's do the snake together, moving your hips so gently, so powerfully and confidently. Remember, there's no right way to do this. There's no right way to move your body. Your body is yours. No one else can move her. Holding it right here. So as I got older, I wanted to do things the right way. I became an architect. I started a business. I had such a perfectly boring life. Bring the right hip forward and roll. Roll. Bring her down. Roll. Bring her down. And I realized that my purpose was to inspire divinity in women. Left hip forward. To inspire women to own their power. To inspire women to live a life of freedom. To inspire women to take up space. Meet me in the middle and expand. So here we are today. Here I am. And I'm so humbled and grateful that you joined me in this movement session. And I hope to see you again soon. Thank you.